I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the High Fidelity After Show. Who's excited? I'm excited. My name's Trina Dawn, but I'm not here alone. I am joined by two really incredible fellas today. To my left, I have Kenneth Ware, the Music Man. Y'all, he even has music note tats on his hands.
Yes, I'm true to this music game.
There's nothing cooler than that. I just
Thank
decided.
you.
Absolutely. And then to his left, we have Amir Yasai. He is a Zoe Kravitz super fan.
I stand with Zoe. I love her.
I agree. I think we all kind of do.
Right?
And you like Lisa
Yes.
Bonet too. Let's not leave out. Exactly.
Listen, I can cuddle with her and Jason Momoa all day, honey.
And let's not forget her father.
Oh
Lenny.
yes, of course.
Yes.
So, Lenny, I'm sorry. That
Lenny.
was rude.
We forgot about Lenny. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Guys, we are going to be talking about a lot this episode. In fact, we're going to be covering episode 1 and 2. We're going to be talking a little bit about the movie, where this came from. We're going to talk about the premise of the show, these heartbreaks that she's gone through. And then we're going to talk about episode 2, the playlist saga. We've got a really special segment today where we may or may not be talking about our playlist closers. We've got some news on the cast, and then, yeah, we're just going to be here having fun
Yeah, we're gonna have a
together.
good time. It's going to be great.
Let's do it. Let's get it started. So, the show has a little bit of an interesting structure because we've got a lot of flashbacks. We're always going back and forth to the breakups. So, we're just going to do this episode at a time. One episode at a time. So, starting with where this show even came from. High Fidelity, the movie, starring John Cusack. And this one stars Zoe Kravitz. So we've got a little bit of a role reversal. What do you guys think about the role reversal and adapting this into a longer version into a TV show?
I think it's a fun cover of the classic. It was an original, and they're doing like a fun cover. It doesn't stick exactly to the script. It's more modern, and of course, it's a female now. She's going over her heartbreaks, but I definitely think it's a fun cover of the classic.
Absolutely. I really agree with that. But I think they also turned it on its axis a little bit. The showrunner was said that he was a huge fan of the movie, but then it hasn't really held the test of time. When you watch it again, it's pretty misogynistic.
Yeah.
At the end, he realizes basically women are bitches, and I don't think that's a really great message. But this this show is kind of taking that and turning it on its axis, which I'm here for.
In the show, we actually spoke about this. It gives major She's Gotta Have It vibes,
Yes.
and that whole movie to TV scenario as well. And breaking the fourth wall, talking to camera, right? How do we feel being kind of inside of her process throughout watching the show?
I love it. She starts off the first episode. She's talking to the audience, breaking that fourth wall. So you kind of get a glimpse of, okay, this is how this is going to go. And then, it's just throughout the entire episode. So I love it. It makes me feel more connected to her and the story and just enjoying her character.
I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. I think that, it was enjoyable at times to be in her story, but it was also really emotionally taxing. I think when you watch it, that first episode, I was, trying to remember all of my own heartbreaks. And she kind of has this way, Zoe Kravitz has this kind of cool way of processing her emotions, but it can seem kind of off-putting at times and she seems a little cross with feelings. So I don't know if that's her character development. We'll have to wait and see. But I kind of was I wish she would really kind of honor her feelings a little more. And that kind of affected me emotionally a little bit.
Well, and that's because the show is so relatable. How annoyed are you whenever you're thinking back to how you went about a decision or what maybe you did something wrong and you just live in regret. And then you have those moments where you just have a memory and then that memory is suddenly back from a million years ago and you're stuck with it.
Yep.
I think that's why it's frustrating because we're actually watching that process happen to someone.
Live.
Yeah.
And it can be kind of emotionally kind of draining. So if you're going to sit there and binge all of this at once, I kind of recommend doing it in, this might be a plug, but 2 by 2. So you can watch our after show. But in a way, I think that it gives you an hour, but you're not watching 5 hours of this. It can be very emotionally draining.
Absolutely. What do we think of the characters that were introduced at the top? So there's some really fun. Zoe owns a record store. Robin, sorry, owns a record store, and she has her employees,
which is the same name as the from John
Yes.
Cusack's character. So it's fun that she's Robin, but then goes as Rob. I thought that was a little clever, kind of like a little red herring they put in there.
Absolutely.
That was cute.
Who are your favorite so far? Episode 1. I know there's not a lot to go off of, but who do we think?
Simon. I think he's so sexy. He's not my type, but I find him so sexy, and I think that like. I don't know. Something about him. I saw his billboard on Sunset today, and I was like, he is damn sexy. And they did a good job of making him kind of this like dopey character that like I know that I came out when I was 29 super late, and having him come out because him and Rob dated, and then he realized he was gay. There's like a really lovely scene where he's in like a laundromat, and then like she kind of sees him with a guy and whatever. And then he's now on the fringes of his sexuality. He's like very supportive to her, but I would love to see more of his story and more of Charissa's story, because right now they're only supporting. They're almost like Zoe Kravitz's entourage. I'm like, can we have you jump in a little? We need a little layers. So I'm waiting for that. But
Same.
I'm into both of them.
What do you think, Kenneth?
Okay, so I'll go with Charisse. She's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
She seems like she's just going to be causing a lot of trouble.
And
I definitely love trouble.
And she's from Dolomite. She's a really up and coming actress. She was in Eddie
that's
Murphy's
right.
Dolomite.
She was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's definitely one of my fave characters so far from the first episode.
And her outfits are dope.
Yeah. She definitely, I mean, a lot of shows have this character, right? Where it's like, you're right, the person causing trouble, but definitely like just the flyest character.
Totally.
And the one that's just going to say exactly what you want to say while you're watching. So I'm glad we have her, because everybody else is kind of mood a lot. And so having her be strong is fun.
Everyone else is kind of Brooklyn. It's like everyone's like really cool.
Yeah.
They even have cell phones. Like you see a little bit of texting, but everyone seems very like kind of just cool and working at a vinyl shop. And she's kind of comes in
She's
there.
from a different borough.
Exactly. Bowl in a china shop. She like just kind of comes in there and she is kind of irreverent, very Tiffany Haddish, and I'm kind of here for it.
Down. Same. All right. So the show, what we're basically doing is we're following Rob's heartbreaks. And she went through a big heartbreak right at the top of the first episode, and she listed that he was number 5, and so it led us off to she's got 5 of them. Right. Who are they? What do we think about chronicling things like this and the amount of time that comes in between 1 through 5, and to have such distinct memories? What do you guys think about that process?
That 1 through 5 kind of threw me off a little bit, especially when she started with the one that was in like middle school.
Mm-hmm. That's a little weird.
And I was just like, does that really count as a heartbreak? I mean, they were together, like 6 days?
But in those times, that's a year, honey. That's dog years, right? When you're in middle school, that's like dog years.
It could be a first memory, but
totally.
I 100% agree with you. It's
cheesy.
like, how long do you hold on to something? I think is the real question. And we can't judge, because put any of us in their shoes, and I'm sure there's lots of madness happening in what we would have to chronicle, because everybody has their thing.
Right.
Yes. So I think it's interesting also to see the differences. Like, what do you guys think about the differences in the men and women that she's gone through?
Yeah, I like that they threw a woman in there. I thought that was really cool, and obviously it's like very up to date, and I'm all for that. But what I didn't like is I don't like lists. I feel like it's spoon feeding. I think it's lazy writing. As a writer myself, like I think that it's lazy. You're not, the audience these days, especially on Hulu, are very advanced. They don't need a list. And I know the movie did that, so they kind of had to do it. But I just wish it would have been like top 3, because like you said, the first one gotta go. And then I felt like the Kat Monroe one, which was like the girl, like it just felt like kind of like she was crying at the window. It felt a little lazy. I was like, I think it could have been more layered, and I felt like the most recent one is the one we all care about anyway.
Yeah.
So I felt like, like I don't know. I felt like it was just a little lazy writing.
I do think though that giving a list like that gives us an extra look into how her brain is actually working, and the process of she's got to have a list of 5 because she's got to have something to dwell on.
But I didn't believe that for the character.
Okay.
Like that was the only thing. I felt like they kept saying that she's someone that overthinks, which I got, but then she was so cool in every aspect of her life, and then I felt like they just threw that in there to make her relatable. Like the way she dresses, the way her apartment, the way she runs her life. She owns this record store. she doesn't really care about rent. Like, where's your money coming from? You're not
Yeah.
really selling anything.
Yeah.
So I felt like that's when shows do this, it kind of takes me out of reality. Like, I've suspended reality, and then I'm like, you're not an intern and you live in an apartment in New York. You know what I mean? Like, some of that stuff kind of like, I'm like, come on, like, especially like someone like Zoe. If it was a different actress that was kind of dorky, she's just too cool. And then you're putting her in this like overthinking girl that's eating, I don't know. I wasn't buying it.
Yeah. No, I can feel you there for sure, because she does have that. They make her tough. Tough as nails. And then suddenly we see the tough girl
Become a damsel in distress.
yeah. But I think that, that is life for some people for sure, because the tough shield isn't always the real thing.
Well said. And it's usually her brother that kind of sends her off, which is interesting.
Right. Yeah.
So it seems like other people can't really affect her, and then the things that her brother says, and we'll just have to wait and see how their relationship develops. But he kind of comes in there and he kind of just stomps all over her.
Yeah.
At times, so yeah.
Well, he did try, speaking of brother, he tried to set her up on this date, right?
Yes,
He did.
With Clyde.
And she was like, no.
Love Clyde.
And then she ended up there.
She did.
We had a messy date.
Messy boots.
Guys, lots of stuff happened.
Yeah.
What do we think? Kenneth, what do you think about the date?
The date. She wasn't really interested at first.
Yeah.
And it's like she was just trying to go out just so that she could say, like, I went on a date and I tried.
Right.
But when she tried to sneak out, I thought that was hilarious. I don't know if anybody on this panel has ever tried to sneak out of a date.
I have.
Okay.
I'm not bold enough for that type of stuff, y'all. She was just like, she's just scoop, and she even did the work. Like, she
Yes.
went to the bathroom and then just walked out the door. She's doing the full process of,
Totally.
I'm going to do this right.
She did it right.
But if you're going to sneak out, you have to make sure you have all of your belongings.
Absolutely. And you
Especially
leave your
your
phone.
phone.
Leave your iPhone 8 or whatever it was. It was cracked anyway. Leave it. I was like, why is she going back for that? But I mean, I think it's nice that she went back and she's trying. I mean, I think that there's a lot. When a man breaks up in a relationship, people don't put the pressure that when a woman breaks up in a relationship, it's always like, get back on the horse. You're a one.
Yeah.
Get back out there. Like, your biological
Gotta have
clock is-
kids.
You gotta have kids. And even someone as cool as her that's wearing Dickies and like is the coolest chick still feels that
that way.
social pressure. So I think it's kind of cool. And she kind of decided to go with someone as polar opposite to Mac as possible.
Yeah.
Someone kind of dorky, a white guy, like not from London. Like she just picked someone that was so safe. But I just think that it's nice that she put herself out there. I would have just left my phone though.
You would have.
I would have been like, bye. I have insurance for a reason.
Okay.
That's true. That's
Right?
actually
Okay.
true.
See ya. Someone took my phone.
I would have never. But the cutest part of the date that I just want to point out
Yeah.
is when a drink was spilled, and then he spilled one back.
Yes.
That was my favorite. And then you're like, oh, he's sweet.
He's
He's
sweet.
not trying to do what she probably thinks he's trying to do. And that, I think she felt that way too.
Totally. But then she gave him what she thought he wanted to do.
But it's because what she wanted to do.
Sure,
But she thought that he would do something else after.
Absolutely.
And then everything got complicated.
Right.
Right.
Because his car got, what happened?
Was towed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
okay.
we'll get into.
Right. That's in the second
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so she had a lot of preconceived notions about how this was going to go, and she was wrong on all of them.
I think whenever she breaks the fourth wall, she's just overthinking, and we see that part with her. And like you said, she's a tough girl,
Yeah.
but then like when she breaks the fourth wall and talks to the audience, it's just like, okay, who is this girl? Like, she seems kind of weak, and you wouldn't
Sad.
think that she was this business owner that's
Yeah.
running this. And is the business thriving? Like you said, we don't know.
Nobody's
if
in-
they're
Where are
selling
the
it.
people? How is she paying Charisse and Simon?
No
With
one
records?
has ever bought a record from that store. Once a day is what it looks like. It even show us about once a day. Someone buys a record.
Yes.
And how
And
much are the records? Like $12.99? I don't know.
one was $19.99, I believe, what we
Okay,
saw.
well, there you go.
But ain't nobody buying them, so I don't know. You're right. Like, these people, maybe this is like, they're there for the hangs, not
I
making
don't know.
cash.
Is your family well off? I mean, I don't know. Like,
There's got to be something. That's the other thing. Like, we
Right.
kind of see that in her brother, too. Like, we don't really know exactly where he comes from. We don't know where she comes from.
Right.
We don't know if she has issues that put her here. Like, mommy, daddy issues, stuff like that.
Sure.
So we haven't really been exposed to that stuff. And I think we'll learn and hopefully get some answers on how this record shop stands.
How is it there? Like, it would be nice if later on maybe the brother stepped in and gave her some money or paid for her rent or something. Like, gave her like, I don't know, a couple $100 or something.
But she's always running to that bodega and buying stuff
the
freely.
bodega guy is cute. I'm hoping low-key that she hooks up with the bodega guy.
He likes Carlos. That's Carlos.
He's cute.
Yeah, Carlos, that's right.
I'm
He's a
vibing
good
with
character.
him. He's a great character. He's such a good, like, not even secondary, tertiary character, but I'm really vibing with him.
Well, because he's stable. You know he's going to be there.
Yes.
So when she
Yes.
walks out to go deal with her problems, whether it's buying cigarettes, buying Cheetos, whatever it's
Sure.
going to be, Carlos is going to be there every time to probably point something out that she doesn't want pointed out.
Right.
True.
Just
Very
whatever he wants to think about.
Right.
And I think he's a fun character, too.
He's a great character, yeah.
We love Carlos.
Yeah, we do. Carlos.
We love you.
All right, so let's move on to the second episode.
Sure.
So the second episode is based around, she's got a lot of flashbacks happening with Mac from how they broke up, basically. And she's creating him this heartbreak playlist, basically. And she is focused. She's not even spending all of her time at the record shop anymore.
She's even
like-
showering?
Yeah,
Like,
she's
she went
not
off the
doing
rails.
much other than just sitting and thinking. And she talks a lot about how important song placement is on the playlist and things like that. What do we think about this? What do we think about going through a relationship through a playlist, basically? What do you guys think?
I agree. You should
Yeah?
definitely do it. It takes me back to high school. Buying
We've
those
all done
CDs.
that.
You have your Sharpie marker,
Yes.
and you're like creating this playlist. And she had her rules. I was like, okay, check, correct. Like
Yeah.
you should not have duplicate songs. If you're gonna have the same artist on there, then it should be just that artist. It was just so
Ooh,
many.
I didn't
different
catch
things.
that.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was so many things. I was just
Duplicate
like,
song
yeah.
is the mistake. I've gone playlist and I'm like, you don't even care about me. A
Duplicate song makes sense that there's not that, but the same artist, interesting. I've broken that rule all my
Same.
whole college career.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. so-
Unless it's a theme, like she said,
Unless
unless
it's
it's a
that hand.
theme
Oh.
and it's this artist. But she had very specific rules, and you have to have a great opener.
She's a music
like,
snob, let's be honest. Like,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
a little
She
bit of
is.
a music snob, which is fine.
well,
but-
so is Kenneth.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh, Kenneth.
In a good way.
I don't want to call him a
Listen,
snob.
being a snob that means you have good taste, or at least you know your taste,
You're
right?
musically
Yes.
bougie.
Yeah,
How
that's
about
the whole
that?
point.
Musically bougie.
Everybody's bougie
Like
in their
it.
own way, and music is the best of the bouge.
And me and Kenneth were talking offline, and we were talking about the closer, right? Like you were saying the importance of ending it really well. So like,
Right.
what did you think about the closer? They talked about that a lot.
I love how it came to her while they were out at the club.
Very dramatic.
Because she was just like, I'm going to leave you guys. And Simon, he already knew, like, oh, okay, she found her closing song. So, I mean, it's a very big deal. And definitely, you have to have that strong closer.
You
It's
do.
the outro.
Let me ask a millennial style question, though.
Ooh.
Okay.
What if I'm hitting shuffle?
Well, they talked about that. They actually talked about the shuffle. They were like, never shuffle. They said that was like a no-no. You gotta listen to it in order. Simon was anti-shuffle. He was mad. That was the most emotion I've seen out of that character.
Okay.
Yeah.
No shuffle.
No shuffle.
Ever. Do you shuffle ever?
No.
I shuffle like famous people's songs, but if someone makes me a mixtape, no. Like like on my Spotify, I'll shuffle.
You guys are very serious about
It's
this.
very serious.
I-
It is very serious. It is like
Listen to music
do or
wrong.
die. It's do or die. Because in middle school, like if you liked someone and you gave them a playlist
Yeah.
and they shuffled it, they could get to like a Britney Spears "Oops, I Did It Again" without understanding the lead up.
Right.
My lead up was Sinead O'Connor, honey. My lead up was was Yellow Card, and then you're listening to "Oops, I Did It Again" right off the bat, being like, oh. He's such a little queen.
So when you
missed
buy
the
an
point.
album, do you just skip or do you like start from the first track and just let it
I
play?
hit shuffle now.
You hit shuffle now? Ooh.
Rita.
You miss out on the
mean-
story.
The story,
do.
the drama.
To be fair, oh gosh, give me a break.
Yeah, we're coming for you.
I listen to a lot of K-pop. So
Okay.
anyway, I'm spending all my time on the internet anyway, looking at what the meaning is. But you're right. Even when I do that, I don't pay attention to order, and I apologize to everyone that's ever made music that I listen to because it's probably not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Is it intentional? I mean, it depends on the music genre. Like I know with Middle Eastern music, it's not intentional. So when they make
I'm
an
pretty
album,
sure I'm pretty sure they do it how you guys are talking about.
Really?
They're
Okay, like
telling
Middle Eastern
stories.
music doesn't have a story. So like if you listen
Yeah.
to like first one or the 10th one, doesn't matter.
Interesting.
So it depends.
They probably do because
Probably.
it's
K-pop is
yeah.
very intentional. So
My bad.
No, it's okay. We're not here to shame. This
probably
is
not
a
gonna-
loving space, safe space.
I'm still probably not going to change it.
You don't have to. Listen, honey, you don't have to. But I liked the whole
Yeah.
setup of the playlist. The only thing that I kind of didn't think that the episode touched on enough that I thought they should have was the mental health issue behind her being obsessed with the playlist.
Yeah.
Her shutting herself off, being kind of, what's the word, agoraphobic, not leaving her house, not showering, not seeing her friends, kind of detaching emotionally. That's a deeper lying mental health issue. They didn't really touch upon it. Everyone was like, that's how, Rob is. And it's like, you guys are enabling her kind of social anxiety and you're kind of enabling it.
Sure.
And even like her being, I have my phone closer. Okay, bye friends. And just like ditching people that are here for her.
Well, I'm hoping
I didn't love that.
we can explore
I
that
hope
with her
so.
because
there has to be a
that's-
trigger.
Exactly,
something.
and that's a lot of the stuff that she's doing. Let's face it, pretty much everything she's doing and everything that a lot of us do should be
called out a little.
should be looked at maybe a little deeper sometimes. So hopefully we get into
maybe
that.
someone can do it in a nicer way. One of her friends or characters could be like, listen, we need to be responsible for our behavior.
Well, it's either going to be Simon's doing that or Charisse being like, hello?
Bitch.
What?
Yeah. I need a Charisse in my life. Just like in the morning, like,
too.
get up, bitch. Coffee time. Coffee.
All right. So we have a really fun special segment. So I'm going to kick it over to Mr. Kenneth Ware.
Yes, so we're going to talk about
That voice, honey. That voice of an angel. I can
we
listen to you
go.
all day.
Thank you.
You're
Here we
welcome.
go. So let's go to the heartbreak playlist. Have we all created a heartbreak playlist?
So I need a Xanax. This
Yeah.
is depressing.
Apparently I've been doing it wrong, but I do it.
No, this is a safe space, boo. Listen, if you're like Trina out there, don't feel shamed. There's no shame.
We're not playlist shaming or
No, never.
shuffle shaming either. We're not
You
going
can
to
shuffle. You can shuffle. It's fine.
But to the playlist, the closer is important. And Rob, they touched on that in this episode. So I want to ask you guys and gals, what is your ultimate heartbreak playlist closer?
Oh my God, that's a great question. Trina, you want to go first?
Yeah,
I'm a
I
little
think I know
scared.
the answer.
Okay, great, go.
Demi Lovato, Hear Me Out,
No, I'm all for Demi Lovato.
Stone Cold. Have you guys heard her sing that song live?
I have not heard that live, but
She's
you just sold it.
fabulous.
I'm gonna send you a clip. But it was like very, it's about a breakup and it's about seeing you with the next person, basically. Actually, this might have been in, whatever, for this show or for Robin. But it addresses everything that you're thinking and then basically saying, I'll be okay, but I'm still like so sad. Which is
That's deep.
multiple that's the vibe, right? That's the feeling. I'll be okay. I got it. But that doesn't mean that this doesn't suck
Yikes.
so bad.
We got applause for that, honey. I wish we got real applause in life every time we made a decision like that. Not to stalk our ass, not to look at their Facebook, not to look at their Instagram.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
little applause would be nice.
Yeah.
I think for me, I would. Oh, I get my own soundtrack. Oh. Lovely. Well, that sounded more sexual than I wanted it to. I'm sorry. That was me being sad. I think for me, I always start with Robin's Dancing with Myself because I feel like when you lose someone or break up with someone, you really end up dancing with yourself and you're running around doing your thing. So I think that for me is always at the beginning. And my closer is The Climb by Miley Cyrus. That song makes me cry every
Same
time.
vibes. It's honestly, it's the same vibes.
It's the same vibes.
It's the
as
same
Demi.
vibes. Yeah.
I mean, Demi, Miley, same but different.
but same, but different. Absolutely.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
have you seen Miley do the Climb live?
I have seen that.
That's
live.
good.
That makes me cry. Or Wrecking Ball, because then that depends on the relationship. If I'm over you and I broke up with you, it's Wrecking Ball. So.
What about you?
So I will share mine. I will take it back to the 70s.
Yes.
Ooh, we knew you're musically, bougie.
get it.
It's fine. It's good.
So
Everyone gets their own moment.
So after a difficult breakup and
Mm.
I'm just over you and I'm mad, we should always know that we will survive after the breakup. So I will go with I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor.
You outdid yourself.
Because you know what? You will.
Yes.
We can just go. Me and Trina can go. You got this, right, boo? He's got the whole thing. He's down.
That's such a good one, though, because
great.
also if you're making it for, with the intention of maybe sending that to that person, which I would never do ever, I don't think.
That makes me so anxious.
Yeah, it makes me so, I'm nervous. I'm watching, you don't know if they saw it. But that's just kind of
Right.
also forget about the playlist that I just sent you because I'm good. Right?
I will survive. Who needs, if they think that there's an ounce that you might want them back, you send that, it's done.
Yeah.
That
And then
package
block
is
delete.
closed.
That's a move too. Whatever.
But talking about that, Max saw her playlist and it said scene.
It said scene.
Oh, when he did that to her, I was like, that was savage.
Yeah,
that
it's rude.
really broke my heart because, listen, I slide into a lot of DMs and when they say scene and they don't respond, it's sad.
All you have to do is delete before you seen. And then
That's
you
what I
have
do
to do that.
when I don't want it. That's a kindness. That's a human. Listen, this is a PSA. If you're going to see someone's message and you don't like them, just delete it. Delete it before you see it. That's heartbreaking.
Let's not hurt people.
Don't hurt people. Hurt people. Hurt people.
Or just turn the read receipts off.
Or red
Yes,
receipts.
Kenneth, yes.
Why are they on? Stop.
You're not a human being if they're on.
Unless you're a
anyways.
parent.
Yes, true.
But other than that, stop.
You want to make sure your kid's alive.
Yeah,
I get it.
exactly.
I get it.
So we've got some hot news.
Yes, we do.
Amelia Sai, take it.
I got you, honey. I'm gonna do my best CNN moment. So Zoe, I'm sure everyone, because y'all are just up to date, you know that Robert Pattinson's gonna play Batman. So Zoe's jumping in as the Catwoman, and she's saying jumping into this role is kind of scary for her. So I wonder why, because she looks tough as nails. You are raised by Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz, honey. Nothing scares you. You got this, girl. Listen, if Anne Hathaway can do it, you can do it. I am not worried. So I am not worried for our girl. She's gonna kill it. So I don't lose any sleep over this. I'm excited, and she's gonna look sick in latex.
Whoa, didn't think about that part. She's gonna kill it, but that is
Gonna kill it.
scary.
Right.
You go into an
Right.
action thing when you're
Sure.
known for other things.
Absolutely. But her stepdad, Jason Momoa, Aquaman, can step and give her some pointers. Jason
Momoa,
you know what I mean?
Aquaman.
He's
Yeah,
Aquaman.
he is.
Listen, it's not the best. It's a little SeaWorld, but he still is an action star. So he can give her some pointers. And listen, Jason, if you're hearing this, I will still meet you for coffee. Sorry, Lisa, love you. I will never do that. On to other news that kind of fits more into the show. She did an interview for Billboard, and she said that her top artist of the year, and it's only been a month and a half, is Billie Eilish. Not shocking, because Billie's the shit. And I love her, but again, back to like a little fun side segment, is at the Oscars, her reactions to everything was the best. She didn't know why she was there.
Yeah.
She didn't even know who Maya Rudolph and Kristen Wiig were, which was great. So I think my pick would be Billie Eilish too. I'm vibing with her.
Well, she explained later that she was sick.
That's a publicist. And being a
Anyway.
publicist for 8 years, I know, girl. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, but
Yeah.
that's our news for today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, that was our show. Where can we find y'all online? Follow these boys.
Thanks for calling me a boy, honey.
Yeah, you're welcome.
33, almost 34. I'm Amir Yasai. You can find me at AMIR Yas, like Yas Queen _ on Instagram.
On Twitter and Instagram, meet Kenneth Ware.
Perfect. You can find me at Trina Dong on Instagram. It's at Hey Trina Dong on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the High Fidelity After Show. Join us next time for episode 3 and 4.
Woo.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.